Every formula.
Coming at you live from Venus. Uncle Dre and Auntie Chris bring you Gangster Goddess Broadcast.
Gangster Goddess, episode 6.
Who the knows what episode it is?
Hi.
Oh, hi. Chris, welcome to Gangster Goddess Broadcast.
Thank you.
Chris Kushner,
Yes.
Dre DiMatteo.
Dre DiMatteo.
Chris Kushner. I'm a little out of it today.
I
I'm
know.
going to keep hitting the microphone with my glasses.
Please
Is that going to
don't.
work for the producers in here?
You can just push the mic away a little bit.
No, I'm just going to keep hitting it.
Definitely just
Sorry.
do that.
I'm so sleepy right now. Hold
Wake
on, let me
up.
put my glasses
Wake up.
on.
Wake up.
We have a very special guest today, guys. All you Soprano fans out there are going to be very excited about Mr. David Proval. I mean, yes, he was known as Richie Aprile
Yes.
on The Sopranos, but he's also done a lot of other awesome things. But we're going to let him talk about that stuff with us. Right now, Chris and I will get into our
Busted.
good mornings to each
Oh,
other.
good mornings.
Good mornings.
It's good evening.
Whatever.
You're weird.
You know, we wake up late
We do.
in quarantine.
Well, I don't. You do. You wake up late.
It's true. I stay up late.
You stay up. You go to sleep is like 3 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yes, 4.
Really?
Lately.
How do you even deal? Like I
The kids are up with me.
My God, my kids have been going to sleep around like 11 or 12, sometimes 1 or 2. But I wake up early. It's like a cruel joke. I'm supposed to be able to sleep in on a quarantine.
No, you're up really early because you're dealing with the business aspect of our
Oh my God.
podcast.
Well, you are too. I know you always like to
No.
put everything on me, but you're dealing with a lot of the business too, which definitely has got me busted.
I'm not really dealing with the business. You are. This is our busted and readjusted right now.
You're dealing. Just joking. No, you're dealing with it. I don't want it.
She's mean to me. She hits me.
No, stop.
She hits me at night.
It's a good partnership. I beat you. You make some calls here and there.
I get on the phone calls. I listen. I'm in the background. I
You're
go, uh-huh.
great. No.
Uh-huh.
You have so.
Sometimes I chime in. Sometimes I'll say something, and Chris is probably like, "How does she even know that?"
I'm floored
I'm googling
sometimes.
on the
I know.
phone.
It's all great.
Well,
We're
we've
doing
never
it.
done stuff for our. This is what's I think a little crazy. We've never done it for ourselves.
No.
We've always worked for other people. I know. I feel more comfortable. I don't know about you guys out there, but I feel more comfortable having a boss. Which is why I joke around that Chris is my boss, and she hates the title. But
I hate it.
But I need to feel like I.
Oh my God, we get into
have
fights.
A little bit of a boss because I am not. Everybody has a different personality type. There are some people who would never dream of having a boss, and there are other people that work better knowing they have a deadline. People that don't take initiative as much, and I've realized in my older age. I used to be much more ambitious as a younger woman, but now that I'm, a mom and stuff, I'm not as ambitious. You are. So it's easy for me to just follow you.
I like being an owner, a boss within a group. Do you know what I mean?
We like to
because I do
collaborate.
like to collaborate, but work for one common goal that's ours.
Right.
But I do need that, like the bouncing the ideas off of somebody. I like that. I like that process because if
And
it's
she and
just
I will get
me-
into tiffs
Oh my
about
God.
it.
Oh yes, but then we always figure it out.
Yeah, and I think there's a scene in this episode actually, Toodle Ooh, where you see a lot of the men having a lot of issues with each other through this episode. And there's some there are some riffs with the women too, but you see how the women make up here, how they try to negotiate and how quickly it can happen with females. It happens with certain men too, but in general, that's not the norm. It's not the norm. It's usually more of a standoff. So, I mean, of course, if you're dealing with Aida and Livia, that might not be the case.
Janice and Carmela, they had a great little makeup session here.
Yeah.
In this one.
I think when there's understanding behind a lot of motivations, if you could always find that. But anyway.
Rolling.
Hello, everyone. Today's episode of the Gangster Goddess Broadcast is brought to you by TheraOne Revive CBD Balm. This is how I prepare to do my podcast every day, so I want to share it with you. And for a limited time until Labor Day, September 7th, if you go to theragun.com/GG, you can buy one and get one for free. Theragun.com/GG. Buy one, get one free. This is the best CBD. Enjoy the show. Without further ado.
Yes.
I like saying adieu.
Oh,
Sorry. Let's bring on David Proval.
Yes.
My friend, Uncle Richie April.
There you are.
Am
You don't
I?
know how happy I am to see your face.
I took a shave today for you.
You look nice.
Why? Why would you take a shave?
Well, because Cheryl screamed at me. She said, "Look what you look like. You look like a homeless. This is no good."
Why do you don't
Should
need
I not-
headphones?
Should I not curse? Okay.
No, you can curse all. As a matter of fact, cursing is encouraged.
Episode 6.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, I
we're doing
figured I was the
episode 3.
first
Don't worry.
Oh no, I don't do 6. No, you confused this. I'm sorry. I have to
Oh my God, I'm so happy to
skid you
see
a
your
little bit,
face.
right? Just a little bit. Figure he's just crazy.
Me, I
Got
was
old.
freaking
He's an
out.
old actor now, and who knows what his quirks are, his idiosyncrasies, and how crazy he is. Okay, hello.
Well, David, you are our
Hi.
first. You are our first Soprano rewatch guest on Gangster Goddess Broadcast. We were doing a different podcast before for season 1, but you're our first for season 2. You might be our only because you're my favorite.
Mine too.
When I first laid eyes on you,
Aw.
in the reading room of The Sopranos, where everybody used to get table read.
Oh, I hated the table reads.
Yeah, they were horrible.
Petrified. Petrified.
Yeah, they were tension creating. If you want tension, you go in that room. If you need,
Well, any reading room. You and I are very similar in that way. You and I
Yeah.
are always very nervous at first. No one would ever know it, but
Never.
we're shaking.
yeah.
You guys are like
my
cool
boots-
as cucumbers,
my
both of
boots,
you.
my boots.
Yeah.
But anyway, I said to you, now I don't know this, and you may be able to clear this up, and you may not be because it may not be in your memory at all, but it's vividly in mine. We were at the end of the reading. I had seen you on an episode of the first season, and you had done something I thought was terrific in the scene with Michael. Now, I don't know whether you were in an elevator on the show or we were in an elevator in reality. So I'm confused there, whether reality, which one crosses over. But you were standing there, and I really wanted to tell you how impressed I was with your work in that episode that I had seen, and you had done something that I thought was terrific, and you did a cat thing in the episode.
Oh, God.
Oh, I know what that episode is.
Meow.
Yeah.
You were
Do you
dancing,
remember it?
and then you went meow.
You remember it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Oh, good. So then I'm not all right. And I thought the scene was terrific, and I thought it was, but I have a tendency, and I know it, and I still have it now, that when I talk to another actor, I don't talk to them in sentences. I talk to another actor in moments,
Oh, thank
like,
God.
when you did this,
Yeah.
and all I said to you was, oh, this?
Yeah.
And we never spoke. And that was the first thing I said to you was, this? And you looked at me with such repulsive, and you said to yourself, do I have another drooling schmuck on this movie, on this show now?
No.
Do I have another drooler, another guy who's going to come around and make a fool of himself in front? And that was the expression on your face. I said, way to begin this show. The first thing I say is, I want to be nice, and I look like a schmuck here.
Wait, did I really
Coming on
look
with the
at you
great
like you
beauty
were
of the
crazy?
show, and I really was actor to actor at that moment. And that's the truth. I really was just an actor saying.
I don't remember this moment.
What?
I don't remember the
Well,
moment.
of course you don't
First of all,
remember it. I remember it.
let me tell you something, David. We must have been in an elevator, number one, and I
Yeah.
was probably in the middle of a panic attack, which was really what you were noticing instead of my
Maybe so.
disdain for you going meow.
Maybe so.
But I'll tell you what, when I had to play that meow scene,
Yeah.
the nerves, how nervous I was that the two actors had to be sitting down, Bokeem Woodbine and Michael Imperioli, and I had to be in front of everyone in this see-through dress dancing and singing
my
along to
God.
a song. And you and I know this about each other. First of all, two things that you and I have in common. We don't remember anything, but yet again, you remember everything, believe it or not.
Well, that's
Just got to get you warmed up. And the second thing is our nerve level when we're about to start acting. It's like we're tigers in a cage.
Right.
And then they finally let us out. I remember
Exactly.
That's
a great way
we
of
just
putting
did that movie together recently, and that was
Well, we'll talk about that. My heroes have been women all my life. Because those are the
Amazing.
people that came through for me. This is already turning into a psychodrama.
With Dr.
who loves
Dr.
me.
Dre.
It's Dr. Phil and Betty White.
I know.
I wish to always be Betty White. She always makes.
Actually, I'm Betty White. You're Dr. Phil.
I want to be Dr. Phil.
Our first night shooting together was in the van where you had to drive, and
Her drive.
Yeah. And I was really sympathetic for both of us.
Sorry,
because
David.
I'm out of New York. She's out of New York. I can drive, but we're not roadsters. We're not people who can. And she had to hit a sandbag. So she parked right so I can get out of the car and do the next scene. And she was so upset about parking and the thing. And I'm saying, I'm a terrible parker myself. I wish I could help you, but I can't. And so it was our first, I think it was I don't know.
Was this for
Sopranos.
episode 3?
Yeah, it was
when
episode
she
3.
drove
Well,
to
my
drop
first
you off?
night, I think, almost.
Oh, wow.
Was it your first night of shooting?
I think
that
so,
episode?
yeah. I believe
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
I think that was the
my
only scene I
first
even
night.
had in that
I remember
episode.
that clearly, that you were upset.
I can't believe you remember any of that. I don't even remember. I don't remember any of it.
You and I were around something that was having to prove they weren't a one-trick pony. They had the first season, and the pressure was enormous around them.
Yeah.
David and all of them. Was
the show huge already when you got called in for the role?
Yeah, they had that one
Was the
season.
buzz already huge?
Well, you want to talk about the show? What the thing was? That night they did it at the Ziegfeld. Do you remember that? There was a big.
Yes.
Okay, the second season night.
The second season.
And Michael Imperioli came up to me, and the streets were jammed with cops and people, and they picked us up in limos, and I said, "What is going on? This is a television show. What are they doing here?" And Michael Imperioli came up to me and said, "Do you feel like the Beatles?"
Oh.
I said, "Yeah, something like that." What's going
I'm
on?
confused.
So we go in, and David gets up and makes an announcement. Now, I thought I had a free ride that night because I thought they were showing the first and second episodes.
That's all it was, no?
No. I was the
You
third.
really have no memory.
They showed the third?
I was the third episode. He came up.
Oh, you weren't. Right, you started.
He came
the third.
up and he said, "We have an announcement to make." David Chase. We usually play the first 2 episodes like last season, but because of a plot problem, we're playing the first and third. And I went, "Oh my God." I thought I was going to sit here and go, and that's the episode. Oh, I didn't know. And so I crawled into the seat and I remember that night. Clearly, I remember
so
that
dynamic. That episode was so dynamic. It's so great. And that's what we're here to discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Your
well,
role.
what happened
Toodle
was that
Toodle.
for me, what happened for me was I didn't know I was going to be up on the screen, and now this place was filled. You remember, it was jammed with.
Yeah, I mean, I barely remember. I forgot that they played 1 and 3. I mean, you're reminding me now. I forget fucking everything.
Okay, good. So I'm doing a thing today.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're leading the ship. Thank
This
you.
is your show today.
All right,
Welcome to the Gangster
this is
Goddess
good.
Podcast.
I remember all this. I do. Well, it was just a moment in our lives, and the place was jammed, and we're sitting. I'm watching. I'm looking. I'm sitting. I'm watching, and there was a moment where I knew it was in the cafe, in the pizza parlor, the hitting him with the coffee cup.
Oh, yeah.
Before that,
Yeah.
and when I looked up and I looked at the scene, And the person sitting next to me, I said to them, referring to Richie Aprile, I said, "Oh, that guy has fucking problems." And I just said it. And I remember saying it like I'm watching something else because I don't really
Wait a second.
relate.
Your work on that episode was
It was
outstanding.
wild. I looked up and I said,
Yeah.
"That guy has problems," because I was so separate from
I was sitting
Anyway,
next to you.
you were?
I was right next to you. Now that you're saying that, I'm remembering
Then it was
you
you I
saying
said
that.
to. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Oh, maybe
Good.
it was her
Look
you
at me,
said
look
it
at
to.
Look at me. Look at me jogging my memory. No, I was near you. I was definitely near you.
You go.
Can I just tell you what I did last night? Because I think that you'll think it's funny. I needed to jog my memory on Mean Streets because it was the movie that I wrote my senior thesis on in NYU. I was obsessed with that film as a kid. So last night my kids had to go to bed. It was midnight. They were like, "We don't want to go to bed." I was like, "Either you go to bed now or you have to sit and watch a movie that mommy's going to watch and you're going to be bored." Well, they watched
They loved it.
all of
didn't
Mean
they?
Streets. I closed their eyes for the TV stuff. That was it. They totally loved it. My son was like, and then you came on and they go, "I know that guy." And I'm like, "What the f- are you talking about?" They go, "From UHF."
Ah!
From what?
From
What is
UHF.
that?
It's
The
a
Weird
kids
Al
movie I
Yankovic
did
movie.
100 years ago. It's a
Well,
kids
my-
movie I did 100 years ago. It's got a great
Yeah.
following, that movie, and I got one scene
I
in it.
couldn't believe
I play a
it.
pilot. I'm flying a vampire. I'm flying Dracula in my plane, and kids come up to me and say, "You're in my favorite movie, UHF."
Yeah.
My
Oh no,
kids
no,
are-
no, no! That's the one with Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah.
No, you were a thug. I think you were one of the
Thug,
thugs.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
another kids movie that's got a
Well,
tremendous.
wait a minute. The
And
airplane?
Everybody Loves Raymond. My kids are
Oh.
obsessed with Everybody Loves Raymond too.
My dad
so
was too.
yeah, lots of
That
different.
was not a good experience. You did a comedy show too, didn't you?
Yeah, we had a hard time with that, both you and I. We talked
really?
about this.
Yeah.
Why?
Well,
Very
you know,
difficult.
it's strange that you and I would have a problem with this because you do come from the theater, right?
Yes,
Originally.
Of
Did you
course.
know my mom? We
I
always
met your
go
mother
over
a
this.
couple of times. Yes,
Back when you
I don't
probably
know
before
her,
you
but
knew
I
me.
met her. Yes.
But back at HB during those days, my mom was for those of you who don't know what the hell I'm talking about, my mom was a
Writing.
playwright and taught
Writer.
at HB Studios for years. But
Beautiful, beautiful woman. by
but
the
you
way.
would thank you. But you would think that coming from the theater, in some ways, doing a sitcom in front of 500 people every night would make sense to us.
Yeah.
But it doesn't because
No.
they change your dialogue every 2 seconds. And for
Yes.
people like David and I, that when they want you to say things verbatim, we need time with a script.
Yes, it's a,
All those cameras around,
Yes.
5 cameras, 6 cameras, and then the canned laughter. You know, the waiting, holding for laughs. I mean, which we normally do in theater, anyways.
right,
but,
you do, yeah.
but-
they're there.
But it was theater, yeah, and you get to with a play, you can tear apart a script for months, and then on a sitcom, that you get the script the day of half the time. They're changing it on you. You can't work on anything.
Right.
It's a difficult process. It's a different kind of
Well,
acting, which
yeah.
is another beautiful art form if you can handle
It's
it.
another
I
art
could not.
form. And that's true. And I've said that, exactly what you just said. It's another kind of theater that has another kind of metabolism to it. You know, that I don't have, nor do you have that kind of metabolism. I'm not goofing on it. I'm not making fun of it. But
No,
they're
me
acting,
neither,
you know,
me
they
neither.
do this bouncy
different,
thing and they're very good at it. And so when I'm
Yeah.
around it, all I feel like is a piece of lead. I feel like
Me too. I feel like a loser the whole
Right,
time.
right,
I feel
'cause they're
terrible.
bouncing all over the
Especially
place. And
you
they-
and I with our it's you can't live up to it. It's
We have to
it's,
have a
it's its
handle on
own.
something
I have the
that's
most
true.
respect for it too.
Yeah,
Lots of respect for it.
Well, I went to a number one comedy show that was about that Raymond show that was about to get all the jingle and put it in their pockets because they know the show is going to be over. And for me, look, I don't care who hears it, and I'll say it. And Phil Rosenthal, whatever the guy, he's the executive producer. I try to be a nice guy. I had a bad time on the show, and they had a bad time with me. And I think they
Sorry.
did,
It
and
happens.
they should, and I have no regrets. That's life.
It
And-
happens. I had a rough time
But
on
I'll tell
Joey
you
too.
something. That when you go to the bank, their checks clear. It goes
Yeah,
right. Warner Brothers. It's Warner Brothers. I love the check. Warner Brothers. You know it's going to clear. So
Yeah, that's a good get.
Hey.
Hey, you got
Because
that.
mine was never syndicated, so I don't get residuals from that show. So I definitely suffered quietly, and there wasn't much of a payoff. But the payoff was that I had a fantastic time with Matt LeBlanc. So I can't complain. We really did have a great time together, and you would love him too.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah.
But
I
other
like
than
who
that,
he
it
is.
was hard for me.
I see it was, but I know you were happy, and I. It's all right. That happens to all of us.
No, it happens. But you know what? We had a great time on the
things.
freaking Sopranos.
Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine.
That was, look, for us, for all of us, it'll always be for the rest of our lives, something that's been a precious gift, and it has been a precious gift. We did television that will, as pedigree, will always have a kind of respect, a breakthrough ground for HBO. HBO has love you a lot and be grateful to you a lot and to myself and to our sweet Jimmy in heaven. And it was, that comes along not that often.
It's like once in a lifetime thing. That show touched so many people.
What we've been able to be part of. And we went to New Jersey 2 years ago, a year ago, and you should see, they set up this thing for Sopranos in New Jersey. You were there.
Oh, yeah.
You were there.
The convention. I got there late because my kids were sick.
All over the world coming to see Drea. Lines. Okay. I won't talk about it. No,
I don't care.
Really, and it meant so much to them. It meant a great deal to them.
That's great.
Well, I wouldn't leave. Remember, I stayed till after it closed, and you
couldn't leave because they wouldn't let you leave.
Well, no, the owners wanted me to stop signing. They were like, "You got to go," and I was like, "I'm not leaving because these folks are here. Like they paid to be here."
It didn't stop. You were much loved. Everybody's loving you, and what else happened? Well, they're going to try to do another one, but that's something else. I don't know.
Wait a second. Wait, I got to tell you something real quick. For the people who, we have a lot of new Soprano binge watchers. Kids are watching. Like, I'm not used to this. I'm almost 50, So people are still Adriana, and these kids are in their 20s. You know what I mean? So for the kids that are listening to the rewatch, also a lot of young kids like to listen to our rewatch because we're fucking filthy and foul mouthed.
We're behaving.
We're being so nice for you, David.
It's cute. It's adorable. Look what I got here.
Good.
But
so cute.
The thing about David Proval, everybody, and now I'm going to talk about you like you're not here for 2 seconds, is that you were on the cutting edge of two really big mob genres. From Mean Streets, which was Martin Scorsese's first mob film. It's the second film, I think it was, right?
For Marty?
It was a second. Was it
his
second film?
Who's That Knocking was first.
Right.
But
this is his first dive into the mob world and into the streets of New York and all that sort of stuff. And then, and that was 1973,
72.
I think.
Yeah, very
72.
Good.
And then The Godfather came out in 73, which I have a question about this. I mean, you might know the answer. I know De Niro's first movie, and it was your first movie, was Mean Streets, right?
Right.
But then The Godfather came out a year later.
Oh no! Godfather. We came out in 73. Godfather was 72. I'm sorry.
It was mixed up. Okay. Something like that. But how did you guys film Mean Streets way before The Godfather was even shot or something?
No.
Like and then it just came out?
No.
I got confused about the timelines.
No, Godfather had already made an impact when we were shooting Mean Streets.
But the style
I believe so. Godfather had already made an impact.
Yeah, because it was huge.
And Bob had already auditioned. You were not born yet.
I was just being born. And she wasn't born yet.
Oh, 74, almost.
Right. I know.
But
I know.
But David, that film set the tone for The Sopranos. I mean, that film was the first of its kind.
Oh, of course.
It was The music,
Oh, for
the long
David
shots. I mean,
Chase
that
it
shot
did, yeah.
in the pool room where he gets where I can't remember the moop when the guy calls him a moop.
Yeah.
That shot where they're getting beaten up. He's getting beaten up, and it's going around the pool. I mean, all of those shots, the music, the stones, the long shots, the red hues in your bar and Tony's bar.
Right.
That you guys started. The Godfather was a separate entity.
That's true.
That film, Mean Streets, it would be what a lot of films would then copy, including The Sopranos. Not copy, pay homage to.
Yeah, right. No, inspired by and blah, blah.
100%.
Yeah, no, that film. Want a story about that film?
Oh, I want all the stories on that film.
Oh, okay. And tell us, because you text me when we get tired of talking, you'll say it or I'll say it or something. But I'll tell you a story
only when you get tired. When you get tired.
Dre, she can talk forever. You're gonna have to tell us because she can go all night.
This is fun. This is great. This is fun. Martin Scorsese chased Jon Voight for a while because he found out that Jon Voight was considering priesthood. He went to a Catholic university, and so did Marty. Yeah, Jon Voight was considering priesthood at one time of his life, and so was Marty. I think you know that. Marty was contemplating the priesthood.
Wow.
Okay, and he found that out about him, and so he went after him. And John and I and some other wonderful actors, Terry Garr, great actors were in the room. We had our own little group. We used to meet 3-4 times a week and help each other out if somebody had an audition, if somebody was working on it, whatever. And John said, well, why don't you come down to my group tonight and sit? And they said to Marty. And that's where I met Marty, when Marty came into the group. And Richard Romanos, who played Michael, the Shylock, was in the group too.
And he's on The Sopranos, playing Lorraine Bracco's ex-husband.
They were chasing Jon Voight to do the Charlie role.
Wow.
And John at the time, and I was very thin. Then a year later, when I met him again, I was fat. I used to 30 pounds, 30, whatever. But
you're like us.
Yeah, we go back.
But I put on 30 pounds. It's time to do it. So he called me, John, and he said, what am I to do? Jon Voight called me and said, what am I to do? Break my nose and dye my hair for your career? I can't play this guy. He's an Italian from, blah, 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 blah. I told him, get an unknown, get people, but you got to get David. So John was pushing me for the Bob role, for the Johnny Boy role.
Yeah,
you could look it then. I was skinny. You could look it. Then you put on weight. You don't look it. It's a meat business anyway. So So I saw the second time. It says John pushed me for the other role, and that's how I met Martin Scorsese. It was Marilyn Hassett, very fine actress. Nobody knows it right now for some reason, but she was in the group, and that's how Martin Scorsese came into my life, through Jon Voight. It came into Richard Romanos. He came in and he saw me in the group, and then
you did you and Keitel also were on Miami Vice together. Or no, Kojak.
No,
the
Kojak.
First episode of Kojak. The very first episode of Kojak.
How do you know that? The first episode.
I know of 2 or 3 things.
Your homework.
Because Keitel and you.
Yeah, the first episode of Kojak.
Yeah, which I love. And then you and Romanis were also in that Wizards cartoon, which I'm dying
Wizards
to.
Cartoon?
A Bakshi.
Yeah,
cartoon.
Ralph Bakshi. We did the lead voices.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he did Fritz the Cat. All of these like really crazy cartoons, which I'm dying to revisit Wizards because I haven't seen it since I was in
Hey,
college.
Good Looking.
But
Ralph.
were you in Hey Good Looking too?
Yeah, Hey Good Looking.
Were you in it?
I was the lead voice, the Crazy Shapiro. I lived in a garbage can. Yeah.
Wait a second, how do I not know that? I know your Wizard's voice, but I don't know.
Oh,
wow.
And I'm in Hey Good Looking. I do the lead voice and the voice in Wizards. Yes.
Oh my God.
Ralph Bakshi,
Romanis was in Wizards too with you.
Hey, listen, we were having trouble shooting a scene, and Ralph and Marty Scorsese were real good friends. Marty was in the hospital in Cedars-Sinai because he had asthma at the time. and he had a severe asthma attack. He says, I want to go to the hospital, visit Marty, and I want to talk to him. Come with me. I said, well, listen, the guy is not in good shape right now. Why? He said, no, I got to talk to him. I said, all right. I go to the hospital with Ralph Bakshi. This is how wild these men are. Ralph is worried about his scene. Here's Marty in a bed with a mask on his face. Yeah. And Ralph lifts up the thing and puts himself in the bed with Marty. He said, Marty, I'm having trouble shooting this scene. You got to talk to me about it. That's how wild these guys are. And Marty said, okay. He was excited about it. Marty wasn't feel like, yeah, we'll talk. And the doctor came in and said, excuse me. Say, you can't do
the nurses were like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Ralph crawled into the tent with Marty Scorsese to talk about a scene in his movie.
Amazing.
And Marty said, fine. That's how crazy these people are.
Did he give him any advice?
People. I mean, they're dangerous people. Yeah, Marty.
How much fun
do you know
was
Marty?
It
Does he know you?
No, I had they pulled me off the set of my last TV show, Shades of Blue, which was not an easy thing to do because I'm on J-Lo's schedule, like big time. And but they called me off for The Irishman, and I didn't feel like I was right for the part. And I remember I went in and I read, and in a hotel room with his main casting lady, and I think I remember standing up and saying, I think that Catherine Narducci would be perfect for this.
Did you say that?
Yeah, because she was perfect for it, and she played that part. I haven't seen it yet, though. I'm dying to see it, but Narducci's like one of my favorite people. So so that was the right casting.
Bob
I was not the right casting
is
for that.
And bought her artwork last time I spoke to her.
Her art is amazing.
She's an artist?
Her art is gorgeous. It's wild. She's so
it's
primal.
We have to have her on after David at some point.
Yeah. He is real interested and bought her art or something, or bought a painting from her. And
they go back.
Oh yeah. I would assume that Marty would had you on his list for actors, since Sopranos.
When you play a character on television, as you know, with TV, right? When you play the same, and I've heard you say this in an interview, being on TV back in those days was not considered a great thing because nobody would want to hire you for a movie because now people are so used to you being in their living room all day.
Exactly.
That you have now become, not only are you a household name, you are a household fixture in their house.
They think they know you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So once you play a character like that for so long, it's kind of hard.
I agree with that. I have said that. And it was, and I had to do television because I had to make a buck. I'm one of those guys who had kids at 9 years old. I got married, I was 7 years old. Remember those guys? Oh, I'm 7 already. I got to get married.
I waited till I'm 9
still
years
not
old.
Married. I had kids. My son is older than me now. I have
God, I love you.
I have a 54-year-old son.
Much. Oh, how many
kids
I do.
Do you have a 52-year-old daughter. I have a 20-year-old granddaughter.
Wow.
Yeah. We did that. We got married at 9. And so I had to take whatever I could take to make a buck to feed children. And everybody else did what they were supposed to do, devote their lives to their careers, Harvey and Bob and all those people. And they were right.
It worked out well for you, though. Look at you. You have a great career, and now you got these beautiful kids that are your age.
Yeah. My grandchildren are getting to my age now. It's getting very strange.
Getting to my age. Good funny.
How are your kids? How old are you?
I have a 12 and a 9-year-old now. Is he 9? He turned 9 in the quarantine. Right. And she has the same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Oh. Mom, I wish mom brigade here.
I would have started younger, to be honest with you.
I wish I started younger too.
Because I would have had more. I would have had more kids.
Me too.
I would have had more energy.
So I wanted the career, and I chose that. And then when I realized it wasn't all that I had imagined it would be, and I had my first child, I was like, holy, this is everything.
Yeah.
this is everything. Nothing else exists for me other than those children. And I just do what I do now to be able to feed them because I'm a single mom, you know?
Right.
Hate to interrupt.
What's up?
Time to get back to the podcast.
It's break time. Oh, yes, it's break time.
Break time's over.
I am about to get Theragunned, bro. All right, Robbie, will you tell Chris and David I'll be right back? Get my clothes back on. Oh my God. Well, while I have you here, let me tell you about Theragun Revive CBD Balm. This is the only way I get through the podcast. The only way. I start with this on my body, and then I end with this after the podcast because I sit in my seat for hours and hours, and my ass and my neck and my back all really hurt. And now, for a limited time until Labor Day, all of our Gangster Goddess broadcast listeners can go to Theragun.com/GG to buy one and get one free. I love saying that. You can go to Theragun.com/GG to buy one and get one free. The reason why I love this one in particular of all CBDs is it's a high potency, and a lot of them claim to be organic, and they're not. There's a lot of toxic filler in there. This one is pure because the people that would bring you such a trusting machine like the Theragun, this percussive magic massage therapy machine, bring you this, Theragun. And all their CBD products are out of control. That's all I have to say. I have to go back to work now. Okay? Goodbye. Thanks. Taking my leave. Goodbye. After The Sopranos, I sort of felt like, I don't know. I didn't really care if I ever did anything else. I knew I always wanted to work with someone like Scorsese or
Sure.
I wanted to work with Abel Ferrara. That dream came true. Another maniac in the world. I did. Have you ever worked with him?
No, but I know him over the years. He knows me.
Yeah.
I've always been interested in him, and he's a complicated guy. I know.
Yes.
Right.
Maniac, and I adore him.
Right.
I adore him. Yeah. All right. Well, now we're going to ask you your soprano questions because that's what our crazy listeners want to know.
For sure.
Can I ask you how did The Sopranos come by you? How did it happen? What was your experience with the whole casting process? Mm-hmm. I know that there was some back and forth about it. Will you tell us, David, in your words?
Yes. I was called in to read for a role and for the role.
You read for Tony Soprano.
Right. And I read, and I thought it was reading. I mean, firstly, I read the pilot and I fell in love, deeply in love with it.
Me too.
After I left the reading, I go over to a place called Mrs. Gooch's. It's a supermarket, and we were in LA. What am I talking about?
Wait, where did you read? Did you read in LA or in New York?
No, I read in LA. And
we read in LA.
Chaz Palminteri, Chaz, the actor, Chaz Palminteri. Yeah. And he comes up to me, he says, I read the script, they want me to do this. I said, what is it? He said, well, I don't know. It's a mob guy who sees a psychiatrist, and I can't buy it. I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. They're making a big deal of it. And I didn't say I read it. I didn't say I went in on it because I figured, well, if they're going after Chaz, I could forget about it, because he already had done Bronx Tale. So forget about it, And he said,
Isn't it funny how we think that?
Yeah, of course. I don't think I'm going to do this. I don't know. I said, no, I don't buy it. I said nothing. I was a phony. I said nothing. I didn't say I love it. I didn't say it. It's truth. Yeah. But anyway, then they called me back and had me read. And David was there once, the second time, and then I left. Then I got a call from the agent, said, you're not going to get it because they think you look too right.
That's what I read.
They don't want a guy who looks like that.
We were so menacing. I mean, you play menacing, more
Well, they
intense.
look to Italian as Nick.
Yeah.
It was full Italian, all Italian. But, yeah, and that's another story about losing jobs, looking, because Meryl Streep said it. You got to look the role. She said it once. They said, "What's your secret to your success?" I looked the role. I looked it. So I didn't look what they wanted. And the first season, I was so upset because all I heard was, "This show is fantastic," and I'm upping people, and that's all I was hearing. So I was green with envy, and I was upset, and I didn't really. I watched after I got the job as Richie. I watched. I didn't watch. I was
You were mad.
because
You were sad.
because I believe so in the show. I thought the show was going to go, and it went exactly where I thought it would go. I was
You knew it. Yeah.
I must say so myself. I'm patting myself on the back. I read the pilot. I said, "This is going to fly if they get the right into casting." And they got the most perfect Tony Soprano. It was a gift from God. You couldn't get better than James Gandolfini. There's no one better in the world. Of billions of people in the world, there was no one better than him. Because I also believe anybody else as Tony Soprano, I don't think there's a Sopranos.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the beautiful writing, but I agree with you.
No, he made it.
It's Tony and David. Without Tony, Jimmy.
But that's all part of David's vision, that he didn't want somebody who was on the money. He wanted somebody that was the unexpected guy.
Left of center, for sure.
Someone who could be an everyday man, an everyday American man that could talk to that audience as well as the mafia audience.
Right. Everybody could relate to him. And his soul, soulful. Not just that he's a big bear, a lovable bear of a guy, but Jimmy's soul. He was much older than his age. He was a leader at a very young age. He's much younger than me. But yet I thought of him as a peer, as an older man. He had an old soul.
Yeah.
Gandolfini, and a leader. He's a real leader. People look to him.
I don't think he would consider himself that.
No, he does.
You know what I mean? If you would say that to him, he'd probably be like, "Who, me?"
Yeah, he didn't at all.
No,
he didn't.
No, so humble.
I know that. Well, that's humility, and that's the wonderful thing.
Yeah.
So that's that. I mean, the brilliance in seeing that this is the man to take this show into a stratosphere that there's nobody's been involved with anything you and I have been involved with, except for the rest of the people who've been involved. I mean, it was been amazing in your life.
They had me as the hostess in the restaurant. Then they called me back for another role. So you and I have a similar path to The Sopranos.
Yeah, except
then they call you back for Richie Aprile, right? Was that the second role they called you in for? And that
Well, the day
tell us about that.
Went back to Sopranos, last day I went in to read, I had taken 2 trips to New York from LA on my dime. HBO didn't pay for it. No, because I wanted. And who was there but a wonderful actor, Jimmy Russo, real good actor and very right for the role.
I love Jim, great actor.
Good actor, very good actor. And another very good actor who's died since the overdose. He was on the show with Candice Bergen, the comedy show. I've forgotten his name now, Italian guy. Anyway, they were there and I was pissed. I said, "How much do you have to do? How much do we have to do?" So I left that. I got to that reading, and then they called Jimmy up to read with me, and we did an improv. I remember, and I was wearing a very tacky-looking shirt that I thought would be right for the audition. It looked like a checkerboard, and it was like an Italian wise guy's shirt, but bad taste. And he said to me in this improv in front of the HBO suits, "Where'd you get that shirt?" And I said to him, "Well, you don't like this shirt?" He said, No, I like this shirt. I said, "So what's that attitude about you like my shirt?" "I love this shirt." And we went into about a shirt.
That's it.
Jimmy just hooked it. He just hooked into the shirt. He said, "Rich, I'm not saying bad things about the shirt." And he was wonderful in the improv. I mean, I said, "Yeah, but if you want to make a remark, make a remark. Don't beat around the bush." And it was like, and they sat there like this. This little guy is telling off this big guy, and the big guy is nervous about it. And they loved
Amazing.
it. They loved it. They loved it. And they said, would you guys stand up next to each other? And I said, oh, shit. And again, Jimmy keeps getting up. He keeps getting up. This guy doesn't stop getting up. He's tall. Well, and I'm not. I'm short, 5'7", 5'8". And I looked at them and I said, this is it. It's over. So I looked at them and I said, listen, I play 6'4".
You're right. Yes, you do.
I was just groveling for the job. Get a laugh, do something for it.
Yeah. I wish we could see that tape.
Then I'm walking out and I say,
I know
this, and she runs out, Georgianne walking, and she says, "Where are you?" I said, "What do you mean where are you? Where are you staying?" At a hotel.
Oh, you knew you got it then.
Well, what do you mean you don't know? How can you not know where you're staying? I don't know. I said, I was all like this after the
some couch somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, you're like this after it. You want the job and all that. And I go back to the hotel, which was across the street from the Museum of Natural History. I walked into the museum and I stood next to the dinosaur. The dinosaur. And I said, this is how small I feel right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
I needed to get next to that dinosaur. And I said, this is how I feel. I feel this big.
Aww. Yep, I know that feeling.
I go back to the room.
Us actors.
I go back to the room, the phone rings. It's the agent from LA and said, you got it.
You got it.
I got what? They want you on the show. Yeah.
Now I feel bigger than that dinosaur.
Yeah.
I don't think I did the sissy thing and cried. Almost.
Oh my God.
Sissy and cry. Something like that. Oh, they gave me a job. Wonderful.
Oh my God.
Nobody was right for that part other than you.
Yeah, no.
To play my uncle, of course.
Absolutely. My claim to fame. Played Drea's uncle.
No, my God. You were so... I was watching it the other night. It was so... I mean, your performance, your entrance into that show, your performance is... It's like you enjoy being such a sucker the whole time. I mean, you are such a fucking snake. The way you deliver every line, it's so calculated.
Yes.
But the thing is, I know you as an actor, and you don't come across as having a script mapped out. Do you know what I mean? You don't. It doesn't look like your script is scored when I'm working with you. And it's like, and I score my scripts because I feel like I need to, and then I forget about it. You know,
you forget about it. Right?
Yours is it's like it's like a science almost, and then it's like a total primal thing. Your performance is definitely one of the performances on The Sopranos that really sticks out to me. I mean, there's so much great acting on the show, but yours was definitely like season 2. If they needed to measure up to season 1 and to keep people's attention, they picked the right fucking antagonist.
That's simply it was that night.
So I'm just gonna go to your scenes.
Okay.
Which you already told us that you remember. You remember me dropping you off at Beansy's Pizza Parlor, and the first fucking line out of your mouth after you say goodbye to your niece is "mother." The way you say it, so good. And you go into Beansy's Pizza Joint, who's played by oh my God, Herman. He owns Ago.
Paulie
Herman. Paulie Herman. I couldn't remember his first name. He owns Ago, right?
No, he doesn't know.
Huh?
He works for Bob De Niro. Bob owns.
Yeah, they were like partners,
Bob,
right? Oh, Bob owns it. Okay.
Bob.
Bob. I don't know. I can't. I'm not allowed to.
Maybe by now.
You can call him Bob.
Hey,
I can't call him
like Bob owns it. Bob owns it, Dre.
Bob De Niro.
Bobby owns it, Bob. And he owns it, I think, still. And he might have given him a partnership by now, maybe. Okay.
I always remember going into Ago and seeing him there.
Yeah.
So the pizza joint.
That scene, when you had to film that scene, it was so unexpected that you would grab that coffee thing and smash him in the head like that. And then you say to him, veal parm sandwich. F- you. Can I just reenact the whole show right now?
Yeah. So that scene, I love that director who never directed again.
Oh, you came in for Lee Tamahori. That was
Tamahori.
Yeah, he did Once Were Warriors, which was a phenomenal movie. Have you ever seen that film?
He did a great thing to me by the end of that shoot. I really.
Oh, tell us.
Guy. Well, all right. It's all right. I'm at an age now. If I say things that sound braggadocious, it's that. He said, I said to him, what was it like working with Anthony Hopkins on The Bear, that movie he did with Anthony Hopkins? And he looked at me and says, well, it's a lot like working with you. I said, oh, come on. I really want an answer, you know.
Yeah.
What was it like working with Anthony Hopkins? And he came right into my face. And he said, it's like working with you.
Wow.
Amazing.
So
you don't know how amazing you are.
What?
Even just saying that right now, I got like, if I tell Cheryl I said that, she says, you bragged. Why did you brag?
No.
No, I am bragging. In a way,
You bet you should fucking be bragging at this point.
love
what do you have left to do but fucking brag? You're almost 78 years old.
We need to be loved a little bit. We need to be loved a little bit. And Anthony Hopkins says old actors are like old piece of luggage. We opened and closed and opened and closed so often. Our hinges are so. So we did. Tamahara. And he said, I probably will never do another one of these because he was taking a lot of time, I think. But you got to know it.
No, but I every time, because I had been on the show for so long, anytime a film director would come on, it would take too long because it was a well-oiled machine. And they were fantastic, like Mike Figgis and Lee Tamahori. Nick Gomez learned how to do the TV stuff, so he's a big TV director now. But Lee Tamahori is like this beautiful, epic film director, and I think David must have been a fan and brought him on because
HBO.
HBO maybe, but yeah, we ended up sticking to the same directors year after year, and they became our. But Lee Tamahori was definitely a beautiful get, I would say. The scene at Satriale's when you see Christopher for the first time and you say, "Don't fucking ever lay a hand on my niece
until you marry her." And then 7 episodes later, or however many episodes later, this episode deals heavily with hypocrisy. The whole theme of the entire episode is dealing with that. But you have a moment in the episode where you say this to Christopher. That's your introduction to Christopher. Mm-hmm. And then, then you punch Janice in the mouth. And I heard...
Yeah, later on, yeah. But I heard that you... I didn't hear this. You told me this when we were working together, that you had a really hard time. And this is all us actors do this on every set. We're questioning our character's motivation. We want to know if this is true because we don't know that we're sitting on a pile of gold just yet. This is all new to us. So you were questioning your character's motivation with, the gun to Janice's head. Yes. Punching her in the face, all of these sort of things.
I against the advice of James Gandolfini, he advised me not to go to David. I don't think that scene would take place, and the characters at a camp. I don't think it would happen.
Which one, the sex scene or the
doggy?
Yeah.
And he said, well, what do you want to do? I said, I want to cut the scene. I don't want to do it. He said, well, how are you going to do that? I said, I'm going to go to David. He said, don't do it. Don't go. I don't go to David, he says. I don't go.
Yeah. Me too.
You did? He liked it?
No. Oh, no, I was petrified of everything.
And I went to David.
You did go?
Yeah.
Oh, what did he say?
Not too smart. I should listen to a smart man. And
How
I
did he
went in,
respond?
and he cleared the room. I knocked on the door, and he says, "I knew you were coming." And all the writers were there, and they all jumped up and ran out of the room. I said, "No, what happened? Well, why? I just want to talk to you for a minute. I mean, I don't want to bust up the meeting." He said, "Well, you have.
Oh,
What did he say?
You have. You busted up.
you
the
have
meeting."
busted up the
Oh,
meeting.
he said that.
Oh my God. Did you finish? Did you tell
Well,
him?
then we
Or at
sat
that
down,
time,
and
did
he
you
said,
retract?
"What's the problem?" I said, "That scene, a wise guy, it wouldn't be doing this." And he says, "Well, what do you mean?" And I said something to him that I know people and that I grew up around people and blah, 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 blah. And he said, "Oh, so you don't agree with my vision?"
Oh. You're like, oh, geez.
And I said, "No, I agree with you. Word one, when I read this pilot, it's just this scene, the vision of the show." He said, "No, we're not changing the scene.
Oh.
This is the scene."
Was it uncomfortable after that with
Well,
David, or was it
here's what
okay?
So I get like, if I don't do it, the agent will say they can sue you, or they'll just write you off in another way, and they'll do that.
Yeah.
They know David, and David would have done that. He would have done that in some ways. It's all right. I'm gonna do this scene. Do the scene. Okay. So when we're doing the scene, we start shooting the scene. The guy's on my, the camera's on my. I said to the DP, I said, "Hold it until I tell you to stop." And the guy liked me a lot. I forgot his name now. Oh, Benjamin.
Was it Phil?
Bill Benjamin was
Benjamin.
Phil Abraham?
Abraham.
Benjamin.
Oh, Phil Abraham, right?
Bill Abraham.
I think.
Yeah,
I forget things too.
Tall kid, nice kid. And he laughed. He says, "Okay." I said, "Just keep it on my butt and then tell David that was for him." Somebody will up there and say, "That's for you." And they did it. And David said, "I love it. Keep it. It's in."
Oh my God.
He left it all on my butt.
Oh my God, I don't even remember. I can't wait till I get to that episode.
Tell him that's for him. And he loved it. He said, "Terrific.
Oh, amazing.
We're not cutting a second of it."
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
Turned it right on.
That's ballsy.
He turned it right back on me.
Yeah, he's like, "It's great. Thank you."
Too fast. That man is just too fast. His brain works too quick. Yeah, we're leaving it. He loved it.
I love. And then, how did you prepare for that day? I mean, that had to be, as us actors, we always have our little ways of preparing. I did hear that was you had exciting news that day, and on top of that, you had
my first grandchild that day. And the first AD came up to me and said, "Her name is Emma. She weighs 7 pounds." And I knew the baby was coming. She weighs 7 pounds and her name is Emma. And I'm going to do this scene that day. And I had a bathrobe.
Oh my God.
I said, "I got to walk off of this stage here. I got to get out of here." And she said, "Okay, I'll tell them." I said, "Tell them I got to get out of here right now." And I put on and I walked around the corner in Silver Cup in my bathrobe. And I became emotional, of course. My daughter just had a baby. My baby had a baby.
Yeah.
What am I going to do but cry in my bathroom? And I just cried.
No.
My first grandbaby, my granddaughter was born that day. And I stayed outside the soundstage until I could gather myself again and get back.
Especially for that scene.
Terrible.
Especially for the set
Yeah.
scene. My God, how did you wrap your head around that?
Blessed event, they hold the gun to a chick's head.
Oh my
No,
God.
I just didn't. I couldn't.
Well, you couldn't have been with a better partner for that.
Because I'm a grandpa, and now I'm a degenerate inside. What a day! What a day! Oh, what a day!
You went from two extremes.
Amazing.
Completely two
Amazing.
extremes.
Well,
was-
hopefully Aida took good care of you. Did she take good care of you, or she was a nervous wreck too? I bet she was a fucking nervous wreck too.
So angry at me all the time.
Aida was?
No, I don't never knew what for. with this married couple or something. And what did you do? I said, you said you were going to have lunch and you weren't there. I said, where what lunch? Where what? Ida would find ways to scream at you
for nothing.
Amazing.
What was it that day? Oh, that day. She was...
Oh boy,
I love
We're
this.
singing Marvin Gaye's. I'm remembering someone. Let's get it on.
Oh yeah, that's Aida.
No.
That's our girl.
She just broke out into song all the time. I love it.
She was always singing.
You kept singing that song, Marvin Gaye. Let's get it on. What happens to my voice every time I say that? Let's get it on.
Well, she was probably a nervous wreck to do that.
Yeah, but
too.
she was saying, I know actors will do anything to relax themselves.
Yeah.
She was singing a song that was the most unrelaxing song. Let's get it on.
Did she do one of her dances? She would always say, "I'm going to do a contemporary dance for you right now," and she would do all her little. Do you remember? Do you remember? Yeah, she was always trying to make everybody laugh. What was your favorite scene to work on? I mean, I'm sure the one that stuck out to you the most was the gun scene, but what was your favorite? Did you like working with the men or the Aida scenes? What were the...
Enough to work with the women. I'll tell you something that David was in Italy when he did this, but I'll tell you that. So my favorite scenes were with Jimmy. One was with Jimmy. First day, it was a walk and talk, and it was in a mall.
In the mall.
Mm-hmm. And it was a long walk and talk. I mean, a long one down the mall and walk and talk, those shots.
Those are hard scenes, man. If you don't get them right in the master, you're...
Yeah, right.
I fucking hate those scenes, man.
It's the hard. So I was feeling... We didn't know each other that well. He was a little uneasy with me. I was a little uneasy with him. But people were there. I mean, the regular folks were shopping and coming in and out. And they look up and they look at the two of us, and we're standing there waiting for an action call. And I look at the clothing I'm wearing, which was not the clothing I would wear.
Those skin tight pants and your members only jacket. You look sexy in those clothes, David.
You do.
Those pants look sexy.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I look down and I look up at him, and I remember what I said. I said, "You ever feel silly doing this stuff?" And Jimmy just spun around on me. He said, "Always."
Yeah.
I said, "Right."
Yeah.
How do we?
Yeah.
What do we do? He said, "Well, I don't know." And I said, "I don't know either." I said, "Well, let's just do what we do." And it was just a wonderful moment for two people to have about, like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
No, never. We never know what the fuck we're doing.
And then you leap, and then somehow you get through the scene.
It's comforting to know that everybody doesn't.
James, by the end of the day, it was a big day for me, my first day. David came up and gave me an amazing piece of direction. Really good piece of direction. There was a line in that scene where I say to him, "How's your sister?"
Yeah. Here was...
he thinks you're fucking with him.
Yeah, he's like, your mother, your mother. Yeah.
And I never read it as that. And David came up to me and said, "You're a lot smarter than all of them. You know that?" I knew what he meant by that. Than the gang, than the crew, Paulie and
yeah, of course.
And he knows that you're smarter than them. He did it right on that line. I said, "Do you know what I'm about to say?" He says, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." And that's why you read what you read, that I with him on that line. It was David Peace's direction. How's his sister?
Wow, okay.
How's his sister? Hey.
There was a scene where you were with Uncle Junior in the doctor's office in the first episode that you did. And when he turns his back, you're there to have peace with him. You're there to try to manipulate him, to tell him that you're on his side. You're trying to find more muscle for yourself on the show because you know that Tony is now going to be a nemesis. So you when he turns around, and it's a tiny thing, no one would even notice it. The way you're fucking staring at him is like a tiger in a cage.
It's intense.
It's crazy, and you're not even in focus. He's in focus, changing his shirt like this, and the way you're looking at him, you don't know that the next second you're going to be smiling. You look like you might actually kill him in that room. And that's the way you look at Aida, at Janice when she leaves at the yoga class.
Yeah.
The way you're staring at people without saying one word and without flinching, having any body language. It's like you're acting as a still human being, just so completely still, just with your eyes. I don't even know how to, I don't have words for it. It's kind of ineffable.
No, but it's that time of your life. As much as it was Jimmy's time of his life to do that role, it was your time of your life, and it was my time of my life to do that role. Because
I feel that.
Blanket was this. I'd been around for a lot of years already. And yes, Mean Streets, I was part of the genre movie that was celebrated. How much do I fucking have to do to prove that I can do the job? What will do this to me? You know, all that we go through.
Yeah.
And Richie was going through the same thing. He was entitled to something after 10 years in prison after what he's about. He's entitled.
I got it.
It belongs to me. You can't give me, this is a great line they wrote for Richie, you can't give me something that's already mine.
Mine. Yeah. That was great.
I love that line.
Great line for Richie.
Yeah.
For Richie. Because
I'm getting chills while you talk about this because I see how you're relating it to where you were at in your life at that time.
Right.
And it's chilling.
It was all that to me too. And there were guys right now that were on the show, God bless them, I'm glad they were, that hadn't worked as much as I worked, weren't in the business as much as I worked. And Lady Fortune was on their side, not on my side. I just kept feeding myself all Richie madness.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so available for me. It was so available.
Perfect.
Until I was starting to dry up a bit. When I think I knew that I was not going to have a second season. No, that's not true.
Wait, how did you find out? Did you know from the get-go when you were cast that you had a shelf life there, or did they spring it on you mid-season?
No, it was Vinny Pastore who told me that they're going to get two of us this season. I said, me, yes, not you. You're a flagship of the show. I didn't think they would. He's a comedy release. He's, he's one of the guys, so I didn't think it would be him. He's one of the. But I think me was. How much more can you be an antagonist? How much more looks can I give him that's going to scare somebody? I don't have that many left.
Oh my God, I could have watched you all day long. But I felt the same way about Adriana. I felt like it's run its course. It's okay for me to go now. Because I was doing the same thing over and over again after a while. So I understood the release of that character, Yeah,
I didn't. David did the call. I don't know. Does he call you? That call he does?
It's different. Well, the men have I have a very different story than everyone else. Mine doesn't feel like it was as, mine felt like it was more of a, you're not coming back a little bit.
No.
You and I discussed that, I think, a while back. You got the phone call. I never got the phone call.
Oh, no. You didn't get a dinner?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get a dinner either.
I didn't get a dinner.
Nope, I didn't get the dinner. I didn't get the dinner.
You didn't get the steak dinner?
You didn't get the dinner?
No, we didn't get a dinner. He called me. What they said was, they said, so I'm not getting a reprieve? Is that what this call's about? I am getting a reprieve? Or I'm not getting, he laughed, the governor's reprieve. He said, no. I said, I had, this is very difficult for me. He was very sweet. And I said, well, I hope someday I'll be able to say your words again. He said, oh, that was so sweet to say. I said, I mean what I say. And then I hung up the phone and I looked at the phone and I said, you.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God, I love you.
I was so sweet on the phone. Oh, someday I'll do your words again.
Yeah.
I looked at the phone. And I got angry, and I'm fired. I'm fired. You know, that's all I felt. I didn't feel.
Yeah, but you were not fired.
No.
What a great scene. How unexpected. And that's what the show was. It was, a lot of unexpected.
Unexpected, yes. Do you know this thing about HBO were coming to me and saying we have an idea about taking Richie, putting him in Philadelphia?
No.
Yeah, well, it was Jimmy who told me this.
While you were on the show, this happened?
Yeah, they wanted to take my character, put him in Philadelphia. He creates his own little crew there, and every couple of shows, or like 3-4 shows, it's him and Jimmy doing this because he's in Philadelphia now, something like that. But
oh no, I would have loved that.
David said I would not write another word. This is not a spin-off show. Never. David said never will ever, ever happen. Never ever. And he was right.
Wow.
And he was right.
Yeah.
It's not a spin-off show.
Right. Okay.
You don't take these characters.
All right.
Yeah, you don't do that. And he was right. He had a lot of dignity. He was right.
Well, I didn't even know that.
Oh, I mean, for me, I said,
Yeah.
You're like, now I'm really
selfish. I got no dignity.
But wait, so they didn't take you to the fucking dinner? You didn't have the dinner? The man's dinner? The men's dinner?
No.
You know what? You and me are going to go out for dinner.
Thank you
Thank
so
you, David.
much
I'll be
for
talking
coming.
to you. I'll talk to you after all of this. We're going to continue doing the rewatch now, and then I'm going to send you some messages.
We are. I'm going to sleep.
You're going
Thank you so much, David.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to take a nap.
Talking is exhausting.
Isn't it? Yeah. For me, it is.
It is.
Well, honestly,
please.
thank you for being so generous with your time. This was amazing. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us at Gangster Goddess Broadcast. If you guys want to continue listening to our rewatch when we tear apart this episode of Toodle F&U, join us at Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. See you later.
Gangster Goddess Broadcast is a UV Ways and Monkey Mind Music Group production. Theme song by UV Ways.